Zachary becomes the 50th grandchild of George and Olive Osmond. Must-Saban kids, get busy. You're getting your butt kicked.
Gosh, if you have 50
grandkids.
There's got to be one that wants to help out at the ranch. Wouldn't you think?
I would think so.
With 50? Wow.
Now, if Paul had 50 grandkids, they go out to the ranch, but they'd want to sing, and Paul doesn't allow that.
Yeah, no singing while we work.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
525. Mark and Paul checking in. Game day today. A lot of stuff for the Nile to give out.
Was that the one you were looking for, that one? That song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is the anniversary of when the Red Baron first appeared in the Snoopy comics in 1965. And
really? Wow. Excuse me, stewardess. Can I move up to seat 2C, please? Or flight attendant, whatever you call them.
Yeah,
now.
stewardess, call them that.
Yeah.
Hey, stewardess. Hey, nurse, could you make sure this doesn't get empty again?
Right.
Thanks.
Flight attendant, excuse me.
Well, Farmer, I got to tell you, the people that listen fairly closely and listen early, it's been a while since I've got as many comments as I got yesterday about you calling yourself daddy. People got a kick out of that.
Oh, they did? Well, good.
Well, and I talked to one gal. She goes, "Well, that was kind of funny. So, is that what Paul does with the raccoons? He releases them into his cornfields?" I said, "Not exactly."
No.
I said, "Paul relocates them to raccoon heaven, where there are unlimited cornfields."
Right. Just rows and rows of luscious sweet corn with a cold crick right there.
Mm-hmm. Little dish of melted butter on the side.
Exactly.
I was looking at stuff this morning. I told Paul, I think I'm just going to complain all day today. And Paul joined me. We got here about the same time, so I was waiting for Paul to park, and he gets out. And the first thing he said is the same thing I was thinking. How can you people not park?
Who teaches people how to park?
Now, I realize all the yellow is worn off the no parking areas on the curbs down on Montana. The lines are gone, so people don't know where to stop and that kind of stuff. But you kind of judge by where the meters are and where the other cars are. There's 3 parking spaces on the north side of Montana by the hotel. Nobody's within 2 feet of the curb this morning in those 3 spaces.
I know. I'm thinking, man, you're going to come out, your mirror's going to be gone.
Yeah. We've seen how people drive on Montana Avenue, not paying attention, being on their phone. Why does the hotel paint stripes and the letters that say no parking anywhere in the parking lot?
And then they let them.
Because it has no bearing. And it's not like they're writing tickets or having people towed.
And whoever's running the van, they're the parking authority at the time. Mm-hmm. And they can tell people, you can just park there.
Right.
Well, the fire marshal says you can't park there.
That's a great point. We can't have kids at Tumbleweed after 5 o'clock because we don't have sprinklers.
That's right.
But the guy driving the van here who couldn't keep his job driving the van at another hotel,
right?
He's in charge of parking and safety.
And they put pickups and trailers there, all kinds of stuff. There's a Penske truck.
Yeah.
A Penske truck, folks, full of nitroglycerin,
we don't know
ready
that.
to take us down in a moment. Yeah. Well, people can't even figure out that when you go to a parking lot, your vehicle is supposed to be between the 2 lines that they leave there.
I saw a thing on one of my reckless drivers pages. Some lady is now passing out. When she finds somebody that can't park in the lines at Walmart or something, she leaves a coloring book underneath her wiper saying, "Practice this so you can stay in the lines."
Oh, God. Let's send her husband a thank you note, Wilson. Huh? Let's send her husband
You're a
thank
lucky
you
fella.
note.
You ever get tired of her, let me know.
Jeez, ride their ass all the way from here to Flagtown. What the heck?
For some people, that's a deal.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, crazy. And then they let you get behind the wheel of a metal missile moving 80 miles an hour down the highway and control it. Mm-hmm. Wow. Are we do 100 days yet?
Deanna, are we do 100 days yet? We got to be knocking on the door.
Should be close, shouldn't we?
I think so.
Because I think, the first group leaves on 19th of January, so we got to be, 105 then probably.
We were 105. Let me check your left.
Oh, yeah.
102, she says.
Oh, thank you. What a sweetheart.
Do you and I fly out the same day?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, remember, my flight got canceled. Do you want me to bring that up again? Thank you very much. Hey, Paul, how's that big hemorrhoid treating you in there that's giving you so many problems? Well, thank you, Mark, for bringing that up again.
Mark, where's Paul? Well, must have missed his flight or some damn
Yeah,
thing.
no, I'm
Well,
leaving.
but then you're staying longer.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I'll give you a little behind the scenes. We can't get some contract stuff fixed. Mark's staying a little longer, too.
We may have to spruce up on our Spanish lingo. Buenos dias, good morning, how are you? Hello? You know, all that kind of stuff. The weather's the same all the time, so we don't have to spend much time on the weather.
No.
It's usually always the same, low 80s down there.
80, 83 every day.
Yeah, pretty much. It varies a couple degrees, but that's for later.
Oh, right. Oh, heat wave right now, 86 in Playa del Carmen.
Oh, wow.
Going to be 89 today.
So are they in? They're still in our. They're going in the fall, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because they're above the equator, right?
Northern Hemisphere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, hot week down there this week. God, they got a chance of rain every day for the next 10 days except Friday.
There's a chance of rain down there every day.
And it rains for 7 minutes.
It does.
It just rolls through, and sometimes it pours.
And you folks north of town would love it because it's just like getting a shower. Isn't it, Mark? The rain, what? The rain is warm. It's a warm
You people north of town that keep the soap and the shampoo outside.
Right. It's warm, though.
It
the
is.
rain it's a warm rain. You could be sitting outside and get a little chilly, and the rain hits you and actually warms you up a little. It's funny. I don't know of a rainstorm down there that has ever bothered any of our travelers that have ever said, "Oh no, it's raining."
You know, I can only remember one big one.
Oh, the one that flooded the...
Yeah.
That was the Capri.
It was the Capri, and it rained hard for quite a while.
Yeah.
So one time in 29 years.
Yeah. Flooded some of the hallways and stuff there. But yeah.
That was the one, and I never did ask, because if you stayed on the top floor of the hotel where we were, and we had a room right above the nightclub, so you didn't go to bed till the music quit about 3. But at the one end, they just had like 120 lamps hanging from the ceiling by chains, and I never got the significance of that. So, but I also wasn't in the room much.
That's right.
Well, Deanna said we sat out in the rain last time we were there. Yeah, because first night, me and her and Connie and what's the UPS guy?
Oh, Laren?
Laren. Yeah, first night we sat.
Well, Laren wasn't there, though, because you were there. Laren was there because Connie was there.
Yeah, they were there. Folks, most of what happens on the Flakes trip stays on the Flakes trip unless it's really juicy.
We had a little 6th grade romance going on there, didn't we, Mark?
We did.
Yes. Hey, I'm thinking about seeing if she wants to go to the night show. Well, good. You go for it, Laren. Yep, that's right. We're going to be out tomorrow, giving people a chance to sign up to win that. 150 of us are going, and the party's coming up here in just a couple weeks, November 2nd, 3 weeks from Saturday, out at the Roadside Events Center. Mark, fortunately, yesterday was doing some reconnaissance work out there, checking it out.
Actually, I responded as the board of the Flakes trip to a gal.
Oh, did you?
Are you guys still doing that thing where you give the trip away? I said, yeah, but you're not going to win.
Good work, Wilson.
Well, why not? I said, because if you don't have any idea what's going on now, you're not going to have any idea where to stop by, sign up, or where to go and win the trip.
You're not going to get it.
So if you don't listen, you can't win. If you listen, you only have to sign up once.
That's right.
Show up, and you can win.
Because what you're doing, folks, is you're getting an invitation.
Right.
You're just stopping by and getting your official invitation, and you address your card, and you get it, and you bring that with you. Now, we have some here. We'll be taking some on-air qualifiers, too, throughout the next couple weeks. So you never know when that'll happen.
We're at Bighorn Boots and Work Warehouse, 11 to 1 tomorrow. That's on Grand, about 19th of Grand. And they've got a Justin Boots sale, a Carhartt clothing sale.
For those of you north of town, you don't have to be named Justin to get the deal on the boots, okay? That's not what that means.
That's too bad. I was going to buy me some of them.
Yeah. But, we'll be up there for that. So here's a headline today. Washington State woman calls 911 after being being hounded by up to 100 raccoons. Remember yesterday, Mark, if there's one, there's 100.
That's right.
Well, here's the mistake. She started feeding a family of These are like little Democrats. Remember what I told you yesterday about raccoons are like little Democrats? She started feeding them decades ago, and then all of a sudden, word spread.
Right.
And it went from just a handful to 100.
Yeah.
They became increasingly more aggressive, demanding food, and would hound her day and night. They would scratch. Oh. They would scratch up her door. She'd pull up in her car. They would surround the car and scratch the car.
Well, what do you expect? That's why they tell you not to feed the wildlife.
That's right. Once you condition them, they're always coming back.
Same thing happened to Betty White in Lake Placid. You feed the big prehistoric gator, they keep showing up.
See, folks, that's why 2C is the seat you do not want.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
Under state law, it's illegal to feed them anyway.
But people think it's cute. They feed
do.
feed the deer, they feed the foxes,
You
they
know,
feed the coons.
and you know what? I get it. I get it. I love animals, and I hate to see them suffering, and you hate to see them, hurt or injured and stuff like that.
Right.
You just do. But
That's why at Mushaven Farms,
they don't suffer. Okay, I'll slam myself. I knew you were going to come up with that, you asshole. They don't suffer out Paul's way. Oh no, God, oh, blah 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 blah. You're painting this picture of me like I'm some ruthless killer, and I actually have love and affection for animals.
yeah, I'm not the one holding the paintbrush, pal. Critters don't suffer.
I don't call them critters.
Critters don't suffer at Paul's place. The last thing many of them think, though, is,
You know what, Rodney? I think we picked the wrong guy. I'm just saying.
shouldn't have scratched at this door.
Yeah. But once they start.
Hey, my stepmom's got rabbits. She feeds at the pet cemetery they've got in Great Falls. She's got rabbits all over the place out there.
Oh, because they're like Mushavens too. Yeah, okay, go. Come on, give it to me. Oh yeah.
There's a fresh batch every
There
spring.
you go.
Little damn Mushaven
Come on,
kids
keep it
all over
coming.
the place.
Oh yeah, can't control himself. Can't keep in his pants. That's my partner. Yeah, that's him. Ye God, Wilson.
I didn't say any
No,
of that.
you came in this morning and you said that I have got something for everybody today, and you were right. Well, folks, Hurricane Milton hit Florida. Yesterday, before we left, we had this headline. Hurricane Milton. This is what's going to make it so fierce and so unusual. A very rare, intensifying, massive hurricane. Maxed out its potential intensity. This storm is going to go absolutely berserk. That was put into the brains of every American yesterday. Now, a couple things here. Number one, like we do out at the ranch, you're always better off to prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
We do it here with snow.
All the time.
Yeah.
Ranchers, any of you guys out there, they all know what I'm talking about. Before we get a big blast of winter, I mean, we're out there, we're putting blended fuel in our tractors, and we're opening up buildings for livestock, and we're getting hay ready. We crank up the tank heaters in the tanks, give them a little extra juice because it's going to be 30 below. I mean, you always prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But you got to remember, these people that are giving you this news, they're pushing an agenda. They're pushing their climate change agenda, and they do not miss an opportunity to capitalize on any tragedy to use it for their benefit.
Very true.
Then we come in this morning. I watched this last night, in fact, because I was interested in it. I'm concerned about people down there. Hurricane Milton, much weaker than what was expected, but still dangerous. Power outages, severe weather weather damage. One wind was clocked at 120 miles an hour ashore in Siesta Key. That's my place. You've heard me talk about it. I love it. But for the most part, when it hit, the winds were far less than they had expected. Now, they still had the surge from the water. They got a little break, though, because the winds were out of the northeast, if you know the position of Florida. And that kind of countered some of the storm surge coming in from the Gulf with the winds blowing away from the Gulf.
Okay.
Now, don't get me wrong. The damage down there is still massive, but not like they were expecting. The center of the hurricane, when it hit there, the winds were only 85 miles an hour. So that was good. We have 70, 85 mile an hour winds in Montana all the time. And once again, we are wind tested here. Sure, when we had our big windstorm, we had branches down, some trees down, stuff like that. But, you water a lot, you have weak soil, a weak base. Things are going to happen, obviously. There's about 3 million homes and businesses without power. And Governor DeSantis, though, had 55,000, I think, utility trucks from all up and down the Midwest and through the coast, all down there ready to go. That's how you plan. There was a 100-mile-an-hour wind reported at Fort Meade, which is 45 miles east of Tampa. But last night, as I was watching this live, and they were showing you the current wind speeds. The current wind speeds, places like Sarasota, Bradenton, St. Petersburg, Tampa, along Longboat Key, places like that. Their winds were 40 to 60 miles an hour steady.
So like living in Big Timber.
Yeah, with an occasional hurricane gust.
Right.
All right. So anyway, I'm watching a report last night, and they had Mike Seidel on. He works for the Weather Channel, and the Weather Channel's not going to like what he reported, but they were talking to him. He's standing out there, and he's been covering these hurricanes for, 25 years. They always send this guy to the hellholes, and he's got to stand outside and do these reports. They asked him how this would rank compared to other hurricanes, and he said that he didn't think this one would be in the top 10.
I agree.
He said, Katrina, Andrew, Ike, I think was one. But now, keep in mind, folks, it's going to bring devastating flood damage, rains, stuff like that, flooding. But they got a break. They got a break. They had a lot of tornadoes prior to, spawned by it yesterday. The highest wind they found was 120, and that was at Siesta Key at 8:30 last night. It was a wind gust. But Joe Biden blasted Trump for his criticism of the federal government and how they handled Hurricane Helene. He said, those are un-American. No, you're un-American. You put $6 billion into Iran's nuclear development, and they're killing people all around the Middle East. So don't give me anything. You sold your soul to the Ukraine and China for millions, you piece of crap. You can't be gone too quick for me. Anyway, Siesta Key, I love that. Beautiful area. It's a barrier island there off Sarasota. White sand beaches, picturesque sunsets there on the Gulf. You just can't beat it, folks. That sand down there, pure white sand. You can walk on that sand when it's 95 degrees and it doesn't get hot. It's just weird. It's beautiful, though. I love that area. I've been there quite a bit. It's been named the best beach in America for many, many years. And they even had a reality show there that they made called Siesta Key. But 5,500 residents, most are retirement age. It's a very elite area. I mean, if you live there, you've got to have some money. But, then they won't care if it hurts them. But the way the hurricane hit and lost a lot of its power and force when it hit land was actually good.
Because when we left yesterday at 10, this is going to be 5 on a scale of 5, maybe a 6.
That's why I read you that headline from when we left yesterday. It was going to be the worst disaster ever to hit America. I mean, it was just, and it wasn't. So that's good. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And we're starting to get out of hurricane season. And where we go, they've been brushed with a few of them this year, but nothing major, so that won't be any problem down there. They've had some high surf and some stuff like that through a few of them that went through there, but something else I was checking on today here. Let's see here. Delta's third quarter profit was below $1 billion. You know what they blamed it on? Remember we had that computer technology outage thing? And it shut all the airlines and everything down for about a week.
Right.
They said that's the reason. It was during the peak.
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, a week's worth of flights is big money.
Well, we're going to help that with our group. Amen.
Same lady yesterday. Well, how many people go on your trip? Is it like 30? It's like 150. Shut up.
Yeah, that's right.
I said 150, and we probably could have got to 200 if we could have got the space. Hey, me or Paul win the lottery. There's going to be one more trip.
That's right.
And we will have a drawing for every room at the resort because it's going to be nothing but Montana people.
Well, you're going to have to win it because I'm not paying $5 for a Mega Millions ticket anymore. So that's up to you, Wilson. I am not paying $5 a ticket.
Well, and the problem is you got to go inside to get it.
That's true.
And I don't like to do that.
You like drive-ups.
I do. Well, I stop and get gas on the way to work, and they're not open then.
Yeah,
so
that's right. We had a call the other day, folks. I think we talked about it briefly on the air, but we had a woman who called up and she was complaining about her rent has gone up so much, and she's on Social Security. That's all she gets, $1,400 a month, and taxes are going up, and she was complaining. Well, today they're going to release how big of a cost of living boost that you will get in your benefits next year. And according to the people who have knowledge of this information, the increase is going to be about 2.5%. Now, that's smaller than the ones you've had in the past 2 years. Well, folks, you got to remember, we got to send all this money to the Ukraine and Iran, all this kind of stuff. Infrastructure spending, trillions and trillions of dollars for electric vehicle charging stations, all this kind of stuff. That system's broke, all right? It's going to run out of money. This year, you got a 3.2% increase. Back in 2023, you got an 8.7% jump. But that was brought on because of inflation. People couldn't keep up. Right now, folks, there is, in the United States, 70 million people that participate one way or the other in our Social Security program. I just want you to think of this. 70 million people with the average benefit of $1,920 a month. That means that this average increase next year for you is going to be $48.
Good grief.
All right. 70 million recipients. 70 million. And with the Biden and Harris inflation on America, it's eaten up all of those. In fact, there's another report today. Inflation, you have to look at how they word it. Inflation cooled again last month.
Cooled?
It cooled. But the Consumer Price Index expect to have risen 2.3% in September. But that's 2.3% higher again.
Yeah, in addition to.
I keep using my weight. The doctor said you got to lose weight or you're going to die because you gained 50 pounds last year. You go in this year, guess what? You gained 25% or you gained 25 pounds instead of 50. That's great news, isn't it? You dumbass. So anyway, back to Social Security. 70.6 million people. The annual Social Security and Medicare, they will be unable to pay full benefits starting in 2035.
Wow.
All right, 2035. So 10 years from now, both Medicare and Social Security will be broke. I've always said this, and I'll continue to say it. You would be much better off if what you paid in Social Security and what your employer pays would go into a CD or an IRA account, and you get the benefits of all of that when you retire.
100%.
You would be a millionaire. But they don't. The government uses that money. It's a tax that they can use for all these other things. They keep robbing Peter to pay Paul. The maximum amount of earnings subjected to Social Security is $168,000. And then you get after that, they don't deduct it anymore. Well, they have to raise that now. Now it's going up to about $175,000 because they're broke. Harris said she's going to shore up Social Security by making millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share. She's a dumbass.
Oh, my God.
This woman is stupid.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
You know, you could take 100% of all of the income from our billionaires and our millionaires. It wouldn't even fund the program. Just take it all, and it couldn't fund the program. Couldn't fund Social Security, Medicare. Wouldn't do it. Take it all. It wouldn't do it. Trump wants to make sure you get to keep more of your money if you're on Social Security, because he wants to make sure you don't pay tax on tax. You're paying tax on tax. This went bad. Social Security, folks. And they conditioned us. Once again, they conditioned us. They trained all of America, teachers that are all indoctrinated, all these people that take these courses, the government should do everything for you, and don't worry, sweetheart, and blah, blah, blah. They conditioned Americans to believe that when you get Social Security, you can live the life of Riley and retire forever and not worry about a thing. That's how they conditioned you, and they are dead wrong. We get calls all the time. You're dead wrong. This went bad the year that they signed it. And I know I'm telling you, but it's kind of like the teachers' retirement fund. We promised all these people, so you can't go back on it. They planned on it. You promised it to them. Well, 1935, coming out of the Depression, Franklin Roosevelt, 89 years ago. One of the reasons why they did it was because of the Depression, obviously, and people were broke, but they wanted to take the burdens off widows and fatherless children. Men were killing themselves working. Men were dead by 50. So this was an additional tax. Men were dead by 50 in 1935, folks. Dead by 50. I'll say it again. They were dead by 50. They weren't even collecting it. They were collecting it and using it for his other programs that he had put in place. There was a lot of opposition when it came out because it would reduce the labor force. By the way, most women were excluded from the benefits. That's right, Democrats. I keep telling you, I don't know how exclude women. Look what they're doing now. They're excluding women from sports because they're putting men in there. They're still doing it. They were all against the women's suffragette movement, and in 35, they were against women collecting it. Oh, yeah. Job categories that were not covered originally included workers in agriculture. They didn't want to cover the farmers. Teachers, nurses, hospital employees, librarians, and social workers. Why? Those jobs, many of them were dominated by women and minorities, and the Democrats didn't want to give them benefits.
Boy, there's something you don't hear talked about much.
We learn more about this Democratic Party every day. And you folks still proudly wear that moniker. Women made up 90% of the domestic labor in 1940. 90%. And 2/3 of all employed black women were in domestic service at the time. Writers suggested discrimination resulted from the power position of Democrats. Yeah, they had a debate on whether Social Security was constitutionally legal. The Supreme Court struck down a lot of Franklin Roosevelt's New Deal legislation. For instance, the Railroad Retirement Act and other things like that. Once again, see, they did the same thing back then, playing into the hands of the unions. On February 5th, 1937, because of the Judicial Reform Bill, Congress proposed legislation granting that they could do a lot of things more than they did originally with Social Security. The first monthly payment then was issued on January 31st of 1940, and it went to a woman named Ida Mae Fuller from Vermont. But they started collecting Social Security taxes after they passed it in 1937, 38, 1939. She had paid $24.75 each one of those years into Social Security, and her first check was $22.54. She had already received more than she contributed over 3 years after 3 months. Just think of that. That was in 1940.
That system seems to have changed a little bit.
She paid in 3 years, and in 3 months, she already exceeded what she paid into the whole time. It was destined for doom, folks. And you know what? That woman lived to be 100 years old. She died in 1975. She had collected almost $23,000, and she paid in $64. And multiply that now times the amount of people, folks. I got some numbers for you here. 1935, our population in America was 127 million. Right now, we're at 345 million. In 1935, there were 7.5 million people, 65 years of age or older. Now, there's 70 million.
Wow.
And it's growing because of the baby boomers. This program was destined for doom on day one when he signed it. In 1940, total benefits that they paid out in the first year was $35 million. $35 million the first year. All right. In 1950, 15 years later, they paid out $961 million in 1950 in Social Security. In 1960, just 10 years later, they were up to $11.2 billion. In 1980, $120 billion. In 2004, we paid almost out 2004, almost $500 billion to 47 million beneficiaries. The last number we have, according to this info, was 2009. There were 51 million Americans. That was $650 billion. Now we are at 70 million Americans collecting. We've got to be over $1 trillion now.
Yeah.
We don't have the money.
No.
They never collected what they needed to fund that program. Never. And they used it. What they did collect, they robbed it. Just like FEMA. Then they got into family protection to protect children, all kinds of stuff now, rather than just a retirement for people 65 and older. Started making amendments to it back in the 50s on what groups they would cover. They finally added hotel workers, agricultural people, and government employees in 1954. In 1956, the tax rate was 4%. That's where it was at. 2% by you, the wage earner, and 2% by the employer. Now it's much higher than that, of course. Made more amendments to Social Security in 72. They added, 1972, they put in a 20% increase in benefits for 27.8 million Americans. But still, in 1972, folks, the average payment per month was about $166.
Okay.
In 72. Now it's $1,920, and they're broke. And what hurts Social Security recipients, folks? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris inflation. Inflation eats up your Social Security. Just like during the Carter administration, the economy suffered double-digit inflation and high interest rates. And remember the price of gas, Mark, during the 70s? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a double whammy on everybody, just like we're getting now. And they're broke. They're broke. And Kamala wants to tax more to fill it, and they'll abuse it, and they can take all of the money that millionaires and billionaires have, and it won't fund the program. It's going to take somebody with a big set to change this system and to make them all IRA accounts, individual retirement accounts.
Right. With the money that people can't touch till they retire.
That's right. Your money goes in there, and your employer's money goes into your individual retirement account, and when you get older, you get all of that money. And it will have been cooking since the day you started working.
Even with a tiny amount of compound interest.
Just think of that.
Rockefeller, that's one of my favorite money quotes from Rockefeller. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world.
And you'll get that in seat 2C. Anyway, back to Social Security. But, I mean, just think of that. Think of like if all of us get a job in high school, at age 16, 17, and you work till you're 67. That's 50 years of your Social Security taxes and your employers all going in to a big bowl, and it's just bubbling and compounding and growing. Even if it was a guaranteed interest account, you would be much better off.
Yeah.
But they won't do it. They've got to have control and power over all you Social Security recipients out there. And then they promise you things, and then you vote for them because you're relying on them. the trust fund's in trouble. And then what did they do? Well, after that, they started the Medicare program. That's broke. That's broke as well. So I don't know what they're going to do. We're trillions of dollars in debt. Folks, we're at about 30... Where are we at now? 35 to 39 trillion in debt, immediate debt right now. We have $200 to $300 trillion of unfunded liability coming our way. And that is with these programs.
And that never gets talked about in political ads.
They're broke.
Yeah.
That's a bill. We all have bills coming. We all know, folks, that coming up this November, we have a new property tax bill that is coming. We have to figure out how to pay that bill. Well, your United States government has $200 to $300 trillion worth coming. And Kamala Harris wants to get more from you. She wants to get, you aren't paying your, no, you know what? Here's one for you. We've all paid our fair share.
If we're going to do fair share, then let's make it a true fair share.
Everybody pays.
Everybody pays the same percentage.
Yeah.
If you want fair, because that's fair.
You want to get them out of getting out of taxes, just have a flat tax.
Right.
But they won't do that.
No.
Because they want the votes. Folks, never for a moment, ever let them tell you that people aren't paying their fair share. You people are paying more than your fair share. Our government is the problem. The government is the one that bankrupted us. These are supposed to be the smartest people, John Tester and others. They're running our finances for our nation. They should all be fired. Any CEO that would run a business like that would have been fired and kicked his ass out the door years ago.
True.
They're breaking us. They break America, and they break you, the individual taxpayer. I don't care whether it's a city, a county, a state, or a national government. They don't care. They have broke you. You have paid more than your fair share. You're working every day till noon for government, and then you keep from 1 to 5 every day. Folks, they're spending like they're drunk. They have never changed their ways. They get their power from tax dollars, and you people buy it. And they teach you that at school. You should feel obligated to do. No, here's what I feel obligated to do. I feel obligated to help pay for our national parks, and I feel obligated to help pay for my roads because I use them.
Right.
And I feel obligated to pay for our U.S. military because they keep us safe and protect peace in the world. But I'm not paying for the government's retirement plan. You can have 5 of these too. I got to save for my own. And you want me to pay for 4.5 million federal employees' retirement plans? See, folks, this is where they brainwashed you. And people buy it. These people should not be in charge of $1. They are irresponsible. They have no fiscal responsibility. How many of these people, I don't give a damn if it's a Republican or not. How many of these people have pushed and stood up at that podium in Congress and demanded a balanced budget? Stop all of baseline budgeting where they get automatic increases every year. Stop it. Whoa. No more. No more increases. This is your budget. Stick to it. You cannot spend over it. We do it in our families. None. None of them. And you buy it. And you folks keep putting them in there. You keep voting for them. And I have no idea why. Why? Don't listen to their crap about how people aren't paying enough taxes. You are paying far too many already. They need to control themselves and get within their budget lines. That's until we demand it and put people in there that'll do it, folks, we're you know what, and it's never changed. And it hasn't changed since 1935. And for those of you that have done it and have made it and have saved, with all of the deck that is stacked against you from government taking your money, that's where they need to learn the lessons from that group of people. Because this government makes it more difficult for people to make it on their own by stealing the money for what they want to use it for. And you buy it. You got to wake up. You got to see through it. So next year, folks, for you Social Security recipients that will get an increase of $48 a month, don't spend it all in one place. And by the way, they'll tax you on that.
Right.
They'll tax you on tax. But you can't persuade people. You just can't talk to them about this kind of stuff. So I just go home and I just talk to the raccoons.
Yeah, and you say goodbye.
No, I don't. I talk to them.
Sweet dreams.
God.
Au revoir, Gopher.
That's it.
Okay, folks, first news coming up. Game day, 6:18.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. Next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat. It's where it's at.